MS Dhoni picks up equity in the plant protein startup SHAKA HARRY. Indian cricketer MS Dhoni has joined global investors in backing India's fastest-growing plant protein startup, SHAKA HARRY, and picks up equity in the company. This is a huge development on the backdrop of the company having recently received $2 million in a seed funding round led by Better Bite Ventures, Blue Horizon, and Panthera Peak Ventures. Other investors include Dexler Holdings, celebrity chef Manu Chandra, and a group of domestic family offices and angel investors. MS Dhoni, India's most loved cricketer, is known to back sector-leading startups across the consumer segment. The plant protein segment has seen a lot of celebrity backing globally. Plant protein diets are inherently more sustainable and its health benefits are driving more customer adoption.
Covered by a lot of media friends are here, and I don't think I was a very healthy eater to start off. The butter chicken story is it's a famous story, where I would pick up the phone and the room service will be like, okay sir, what do you want? You can call in the evening, just from the third time they're like, okay sir, same order. So I don't think I was a very healthy, clean eater, but as I got closer to my 30s, I had to change my eating habit. So a big part of me, still craves for it, but I've become more and more healthy, try to cut down on the sugar, try to eat less fried food, but I'm still a firm believer that you can eat a bit of everything, you can be very active. I think that's the best thing you can do. You don't have to deprive yourself of food, because I always felt if I'm not looking forward to what I'm eating, the whole day becomes very boring. So, I love to eat, but I more calculate on the ways that if I'm eating so much, I need to burn so much. Whether it's in the gym, whether it's by playing some other sport, it can be cricket, football, badminton, tennis, anything. So that's my clear philosophy. I enjoy my food. I'm not big time into trying lots of different food. But I feel the Indian food is so great that I don't need to venture out too much, that the taste and the flavors that comes from different part of India. So a big foodie in me, but yes, if you have to be very fit and fine, you have to be careful about what you are eating.
So in all your travels, right, it can't be easy. We've heard of the grueling schedules that you have in these places, or what are the places that you say, hey, listen, it's tough in terms of, you said, the
plate. That's where I started traveling too. And most of the places have very big Indian community, so you always get Indian food, but it's always good to explore also. And I felt most of the places have very good food. The whole problem is how far you have to go for the food, or if you're craving for something, then where you need to go. Trying to find out where you need to go used to be one of the biggest challenges. Now with Google and so many things, you can just put it and you'll have hundreds of reviews, so you know which place to go, which place is serving what kind of food. So it has become relatively easy. One of the challenges what I saw other cricketers have was, if they're a vegetarian, a lot of them are vegetarian on particular days and all of that. So for me, the biggest challenge was to keep a track, what day it is. So that's why I eat 7 days a week, I eat 365 days a year, because there's no guilt feeling in, I'm supposed to be a veg on this day and that day. But overall, I think you have options. We have so many options nowadays, and how the world is also shifting towards other sources of protein, because a lot of research has been done, and what has come out is you need to eat decent amount of protein every day. You need to have good amount of protein in your meal, irrespective of whether you're a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian. So that's what I try to do also. And with God's grace, with the amount of Indian community that is all over the world, I don't think we are short of good food. Trying to find out is always an issue, but that's how it is.
It's interesting that you eat a protein a couple of times, right? So talk to me about that. So you said you started off with this whole thing, but in athletes and sports people today, how have you seen the awareness or knowledge of proteins and the knowledge of diet in terms of fitness change in the last so many years that you've been playing?
I think when it comes to all these research, I've been following it for last 10-15 years since I made my debut, which was 2004, and a lot of new research keeps popping up. Initially there was a big research done and they said, okay, this sole is the best for you to run and all of that, and every 5 years, 10 years, something new will happen. And all of a sudden, another research came and they said, bare feet running is the best you can do. So I'm like, last 20 years you have been telling something else. Similarly with food also, a lot has changed. When we started playing cricket, they were like, okay, you should have more rotis, less rice. Then completely shifted and they are like, you may be gluten intolerant, all of that, try rice, try brown rice, wild rice, all these things, millet, all of that came. But I feel one thing that has remained throughout is the protein content because the muscles, they break down a bit every time you work out, and if the intensity is high, and then you need to supplement it, they need protein to repair the muscles. So I feel it's a big part and parcel, and you have to be very careful about how much protein we are taking in. And also athletes are now aware about how much carbs you need to add, what's the kind of fat content in the food and all of that. So I don't want to get too much into it because I've always I was told myself, if you're having food that is well balanced, of course with slightly higher protein, and if you're very active, I don't think nothing bad can happen. The body takes care of itself. Just need to make sure that you are active, because the activity level in the current generation has gone down, because you get out of the house, you can see where the taxi is, where the Uber is, what's the mode of transport. So you're not walking a lot, you're not moving around a lot. Bangalore has a lot of traffic, so I don't think people get a lot of time out of office to go to a gym, because that time they are in the car or in transport. So protein intake is very important, and we all take care of it.
Right?
Well, that was my first question also. When they inquired about me, I was like, listen, I'm a non-vegetarian. Okay, I was a late starter. I started eating non-veg when I was 14, and I've not gone too much into red meat and fish, but I eat chicken. So, we were having this chat, and before he could say, I was like, listen, I think people who we are targeting are not the vegetarians. Who we are targeting are actually the people who eat non-veg, but people like me who also want to give their system a rest of, not keep eating the red meat and the white meat and the eggs, and also, it becomes as an option where still you're supplementing the protein that is needed by the body, but you're giving your body a bit of rest also, because veg is considered to be slightly more better for the body. You digest, all the systems are in much better shape. So I told him, like, this is what we are doing. I think we are targeting these kind of people, and also people who were non-vegetarian at some point of time, but for some reason left it and still crave for it. Because I feel it will be very difficult for us to convert vegetarians, tell them, okay, you are a vegetarian, have this, it tastes like chicken. And they're like, I don't have a data bank of what chicken feels like, when I've never eaten chicken. So it was interesting, but I think we were on the same page once we had a chat and we realized, okay, this is what we are looking to do. And we want to provide people who eat non-veg, very good vegetarian options where the protein content is still very high, and the market we are, it needs to be tasty. And I feel that's what one of the emphasis was, that we want to provide snacks and foods and indulgences, that are very tasty. People should crave for it, people should come forward and they should want it.
Fine. So close to the World Cup, if I don't ask you a cricket question, they're going to lynch me.
I'm not playing the World Cup. The team has already left.
It's not too late though. I mean, there are still flights going out. I'm just saying. No, but Where do you think our chances are? I know there's been a lot of
No, I
speculation on the
think
team.
what we need to respect is each and every country that comes for the World Cup. They come very well prepared, and especially the shorter the format, the chances of good team or bad team beating each other is very high, because like in a test match, you get more time. In a T20 format, one individual can change the game. It can literally take the game away from you, and it can happen in a matter of 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So you have to be at your best. Every team prepares for it. There are like 5-6 teams who are very good. It will all boil down to how good we are on that particular day, and how well we have exploited the condition that has been provided. Other than that, when it comes to the team, it's a very nice team. They have been doing really well. So in my mind, I'll be just like, okay, all the game days should be their days. They should be playing to 80 to 90% of their potential, and the other team also, if they play to their potential, I think will win more often than not. So you don't want the bigger players of the opposition team, people who are big hitters or extraordinary bowlers. You don't want them to have an excellent day. That's it. You keep them in the check, and I think the result will take care of itself.
On that note, Captain, thank you so much for coming. It's an absolute pleasure. I think everyone's super excited about where we are.
So you said you were vegetarian till the age of 14, right? So what?
For a person to be non-vegetarian, because at the end of the day, the body breaks down whatever you're eating into all the different things, protein, carbs, fat, this, that. So it's just that often we have that assumption that when you eat non-veg, you get more protein or you're stronger and all of that. But frankly, it's everybody's preferences. A lot of people are comfortable with different kind of food. So I don't think there's any question that you have to be a non-vegetarian to be fitter or to be stronger. I feel it's all about the food. People should eat what they are comfortable with. It's just that they have to keep in mind everything as to how active they are, what is their requirements. If you have a desk job and if you're not spending a lot of time moving around, then what is a better food to eat, that you have to decide for yourself, because it may not show in 15 days, but you'll be in job for ages. So after a month, 2 months, 3 months, it will start having an effect on you. So we have to be intelligent about what we eat, and whatever you want to eat, that's a personal preference that everybody has got. But be happy with what you are eating, because it's easier to keep following it once you are happy with your food. If you're not happy, you may practice it for 1 month, 2 months, but it becomes very difficult after that.
As long as it tastes like butter chicken, it's good.
I'm happy.